Good morning and welcome back to a fresh new episode of Knock Off the Perch, a Manchester United podcast. We're back after two very average results, something which we have grown accustomed to as Manchester United fans. You all will be interested to know that Aruj had gone full blown yesterday, saying that Amorim is not the one for us, but
Yeah,
he's since calmed down and we have
I
decided
was
to.
short of saying Amorim out. I think I restricted myself for saying that, and I think today I'm in a much more balanced thought uh, process and much more balanced views. But yeah, yesterday especially after that first half, I was fully of the opinion that this guy is not the one for us. Maybe he's not. We don't know. We'll talk about
Yeah, better since prevailed, something which we can't say for Manchester United. I'd love to say it was a game of two halves, but it wasn't because even after second half, Everton were quite for a long time cruising, and
it. It was a
albeit
game
from
of
a
75 minutes and 15 minutes.
yeah, definitely. And we'll discuss this game, Everton game. We'll discuss the Tottenham game. We didn't unfortunately record last week, but yeah, we'll be discussing these two games. We'll be talking about the academy's presence and academy's importance for Manchester United, and eventually we'll talk about where we are in the table, languishing in a relegation zone, and our cup ambitions, both FA Cup and Europa League. How have you been, Aruj? I know disappointing week for United, but what did you make of the games?
1 point in 2 games. I don't know how disappointing that is. I mean, we are doing okay, I guess. 1 point in 2 games as per standards under the new management. We we have been overall. If I look at it, how many Premier League games has it been for Amorim? He joined in after the 11th game, so this is what 15 games now, and we were 15 points. So I think he has 15 points in 15 games, a point a game. So
Hmm.
pure relegation form, right? On at 38 points from 38 games, you are a contestant for relegation. So yeah, we've played two decent teams. Spurs coming back in form after a few injuries, and Everton have been flying under Moyes. So yeah, I think two decent teams. 1 point out of those two games is not a bad
End
result.
of the world
Yeah,
situation.
we'll find our match in the next one, Ipswich. So I think that is where our standard is, and hopefully, I think if we lose that one, I will be disappointed. Like all this is okay.
Hmm.
We're playing well.
Yeah, I mean, so many former managers, right? Moyes, the McKenna also coming. Root, we were able to nick a win out of by unfair means, I'd say.
Yeah.
Uh, I think he was kind enough to let us have it. He's like, okay, United, we need the cup run. And Road being the legend of United that he is,
No,
he
Rude
I
is
think he
also
let us
helping
have it.
United not get relegated. So if Rude and
Mm,
Leicester were performing better, we would probably be closer to relegation, which, in all seriousness, doesn't feel like we'll get relegated. I think there are enough bad teams in the Premier League to keep us afloat. But yeah, the situation is abysmal. There is
you know
no,
what?
yeah,
You know what gives it a relegation kind of a sentiment is more from the fact that again we are at a point where we don't know what to expect from United.
yeah.
Uh, it could be an easy game, it could be a difficult game, it could be average team we are playing, and we don't know what we'll get out of the squad. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. No game is an
we
easy win at this point in time. You can't say that this game we
yeah
will for sure go ahead and win, which is what even against Ipswich, I am not too sure. Although it is at Old Trafford, you will expect to win at Old Trafford against Ipswich, but this team hasn't been performing well now. For that matter, they aren't performing well anywhere. But especially at Old Trafford, it just feels like some of the players freeze under the pressure.
yeah I mean like I mentioned last night after the game, it's a squad which is like at a bad place more than anything else. I think this is pound by pound the worst Manchester United squad assembled, at least till since I have been watching Manchester United, and I've
Yeah,
seen United legends leave. I've seen Ronaldo leaving the club. I've seen Rooney leaving the club. I've seen Beckham leaving the club. I've seen Carrick leaving the club. Scholes leaving the club. Rio leaving the club. But I think right now who I miss is Fred the most. The presence of Fred in the
McFred.
midfield. Yeah, definitely. Because say anything about McFred, they were in midfield when they were supposed to be in the midfield. They would leave you like a Casemiro would.
Yeah. No, come
And
to think of it, I think, especially after this summer window, we were hailing it as probably the best one in the recent past with, amazing signings. But come to think of it, and maybe we extend this to another year back, the players we have let go to be able to sign the new ones. I don't think man for man, they're better than the ones that we have let go, right?
if anything, they've been performing decently well. De Gea has found his feet. McTominay has been performing well. Fred has been doing well.
That is the other point. Okay, I don't want to get into away from United how well they are doing
Mhm,
because it's a very different ball game playing away from United. The pressure is less, and I'm glad for some of them doing well. But even if we compare how they were doing at United vis-a-vis how the ones who have come in are doing
mhm,
at United,
mhm,
you take
mhm,
Onana versus David De Gea, not a upgrade. Definitely not an
mhm,
upgrade. I mean, okay, David De Gea wasn't that great with feet and was probably making a few mistakes towards the end of his tenure at United. But Onana is making equal number of mistakes. We are not really leveraging his playing out from the back that much. Then who else is there? Maybe Ugarte vis-a-vis McTominay. I think it's still the jury is out. Ugarte has been decent, but McTominay has been doing really well. And McTominay was that one player who
mhm.
stands up when when there are difficulties. So maybe it's not necessarily an upgrade either. Who else?
I think attack is where we have had the biggest downgrade because we've
Yeah,
gone down from, say, Ronaldo, Martial, Rashford to Zirkzee, Højlund, and Garnacho. And even though Garnacho shows flashes of
yeah,
brilliance in every game he plays,
yeah,
so I don't think I can say the same for Zirkzee and
correct.
Hoyland anymore because I think they have been given enough chances to prove. I think they have been given a platform, both of them separately, both of them together as well. Like
Yeah,
I really thought that them playing together will actually form a good Cole York, Percy Rooney, or
yeah,
a Ronaldo Rooney kind of a partnership, but that hasn't translated. Hoyland simply isn't going at positions where he can score, and Zirkzee is not a number nine. And to be honest, he's not a brilliant 9.5 either. That being said, I do believe Zirkzee was the best player when we played against
Spurs. Yeah,
Tottenham.
yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think Xerxes has been doing. Don't even want to say well, but relatively okay in one
Mm,
of that number 10 role, and I think he has had to play more of that with the Ahmad injury situation. So we, with Mount out, Ahmad out, okay, Bruno played yesterday in that number 10 role, but otherwise he fills in that number 8 role as well. So with him playing there, I think we have very limited players who can play in that number 10 role. I think at this point in time it's Zirkzee, Garnacho, and Bruno. So it has to be two of those three who will be playing at any given point in time. So yeah, he links up played decently okay, but it's just overall we are so poor. It just doesn't click for us. And Hoyland, I'm not able to sort of understand because remember last year when we were seeing Hoyland, the service was bad then as well, but he was latching on to some of these half chances and converting them into goals. I don't know where the challenge today is because okay, maybe so on second thoughts, there was this phase of 3-4 months initially when he was not able to score in the Premier League. He started scoring, went on to score 7 or 8 goals in a row or something like that. So maybe he's a streaky player, right? And strikers thrive on confidence. We had seen that even with Rooney, there will be patches when he will go goalless and then suddenly go on and score like 10 in 5-6 games. So maybe it's that. I don't know. But right now, the whole team is just devoid of confidence.
But this Foilon Zergzi, it's not a phase. It's become a it's a longer thing that they aren't coming at good position and they aren't scoring.
Yeah,
Take the Spurs game for example. Let's discuss game by game. Let's go
yeah,
to Spurs game first of all. We lost that game 1-0 by a deflection. Two things which stood out for me in that game was we created enough chances to win that game.
yeah,
Spurs was equally bad as we were. It was to be very honest and El Shitiko. Both teams didn't deserve to win the game.
yeah,
We had enough chances to win that game. It was an open basketball game going back to back, and we reached good positions as well. Garnacho should have finished the score in the first half. Uh, Xerxes should have finished the goal in the second half.
yeah,
We had enough opportunities. And the second thing which stood out for me in that game and the Everton game also was Onana's idiotic goalkeeping because he parries the ball and it almost always is in a position where our defenders are not as quick to react, or it's in a dangerous position for the other team to score.
yeah.
Happened against Tottenham when Madden scored. Happened yesterday against the second goal of Everton as
Dokure,
well.
yeah, the Dokure goal, yeah.
Dokore scored.
No, so
Yeah.
I think in for both the second goal against Everton and the goal against Spurs, Onana is definitely at fault. He made a decent save, and it was not like out of the world save that he wasn't in a position to be able to figure out what to do with the ball at that point in time. And we've seen that with David. He has a very strong fist in situations like that, and usually like puts it on the backside for a corner, or it goes onto the sides for a throw in, and which he doesn't do. I think he's relatively as compared to some of the other goalkeepers softer when making these saves, which just ensures that the ball lands up right in the box in front for somebody to come in. And that point in time, our centre backs have to step up. Now, with Licha not around, Delict and Maguire are the two main centre backs, because the third one is Mazraoui, who is not typically a centre back, so to say. So they have to step up. They have to show that presence of mind that the second ball in such situations, they have to grab it and probably clear it. So they are slow to react, which is where Madison the other day and Dokuru yesterday were able to pounce on that ball and score the goal in. So I think that is a big challenge. And even for the first goal yesterday, what was that? We had 4 or 5 chances to clear it. I mean, schoolboy defending. I mean, that's
It was
very
ping
sad.
pong. I
Yeah.
mean, Mazurai had an opportunity to clear. Maguire had two opportunities to
Maguire
clear.
headed it
It was
onto
just,
a Everton player's head only. So
I mean, I don't think we should call Maguire slabhead anymore, man. I mean, this is unfair because he should have cleared it very easily and he
yeah.
didn't and ended up in goal. And then we are, scrambling for an offside call, which was never an offside to be very honest.
Yeah. Even yesterday there was another this call in Everton's box, right, where Zirkzee went uh, with such confidence to the referee that it is a handball, and I don't know, VR didn't even look at it for more than 10 seconds. It felt like, United players are just trying to hold on to whatever they can to get an opportunity to whatever for a penalty or something. So it just feels we are trying to feed off whatever little we can get in order to grab results, and that's what we did yesterday, to be honest.
I half expected the Ashley Young, penalty to be given because
Yeah,
Ashley Young has done it for years for United. I
that
really hope.
exactly the same thought in my head. Yeah. I mean, he's been doing it for what, I don't know, 15, 20 years now. Probably
Oh
late in the
yeah, I
2000s, he
remember
was
once.
doing it for Villa, then for us,
Yeah,
and then now for
I re-
Everton.
I remember one specific reason wherein he won 8 penalties for us, and that was like a record. And that's when he actually got the reputation that
Yeah.
he falls easily. And yesterday was a similar case as well. He fell
Yesterday,
down
I
too easily.
thought it was soft, but I don't think it was soft enough to be overturned, to be honest. Very happy it didn't get given eventually, but yeah, I don't think it was that soft to be overturned. But on the overall result, what do you make of it? I thought it was a sneaky draw for United. We didn't even deserve to draw.
It's not good enough. Like, see, we've been talking a lot about Amarim's ideas, and Understandable that the squad is not at the place where Amorim wants it to be. But these are the things which were very clear to him when he came. Of course, what hasn't helped is the form of Rashford. All the off-field issues they haven't helped. But Rashford is gone now. If he was a bad presence in the dressing room, he's gone now. Anthony is gone now. This is the squad that you have, and these are the injuries you have to work with. He was very intelligent in bringing a lot of academy players against Tottenham on the bench, but if you're not going to play them, what is the point? I mean,
I think he
this,
was
this
just filling
it,
numbers. The academy, most of those academy players had played in the FA Youth Cup, if I'm not wrong, like 3 or 4 days back. So I think he was just filling positions at that point in time. Probably could have gotten Chido a little earlier in that game against Spurs, but yeah, I don't think he has enough trust on the academy players as yet to be able to use
hmm.
them in Premier League games.
Yeah, I get it. See, against Spurs, I think Lindelof was the only player who has played a senior minute in Premier League. All the others were
Yeah, in the Premier
debutants.
League, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but that being said, this is the tradition of United that you throw. See, it's a dual-edged sword because when you bring in these players, you want to be as careful as possible. You want to them to have the best chance to succeed in the long run. But that being said, if we don't, I think this is a good segue in our second section that our squad being where it is right now,
Hmm.
is it good enough to I don't know, to get a European place, I don't think it is. I don't think our first team is playing good. Like I don't think they're showing enough resilience. I don't think they are showing enough talent as well.